UnderMike here, UnderMike show with Sam. How's it going, Sam?
It's going. You should be going real well after a spectacular week, a good week overall for the show. But you did it.
Yeah, we got this clean sweep over here on my end, at least. Good 3-0. Some interesting games to say the least. The Miami Temple game I thought was going to be a loss, but we held on to that one.
Yeah, thanks to Temple being awful.
Yeah, that worked out. But that was a good example. That was the one where we got it at 50.5, I believe, on Tuesday, was it? And by game time, that total was 45.5.
Yep.
And she ended at 48, I believe, if I
could have had
correctly.
A nice big old fat middle there.
So we could have middled, but if you were on it too late, you lost that under. So that's why you tune in, watch, keep an eye out for any tweets, and we try to get the bets in early, and so that one worked out good for us. Then there was the App State Wild. That was I don't even know. I'm glad I wasn't watching the game. I was trying to follow it on my phone, and it was just, I'm like, I got to stop this because it was going way under. And then fourth quarter, I mean, the strangest stuff was happening. I don't even. What was like a block pick for a touchdown?
I wanted to look at the stats in that game. That actually reminded me. I wanted to see something on that because now we talked a little bit about that game and and different reasons why it could potentially go under. So 31 yards passing for Wyoming. Because I mentioned, neither team was quite prolific through the air. But the craziness of this game, and this is nothing to do with your bet really, but so Wyoming was a 3-point favorite. You got to push 22-19. They had 208 yards for the game. Appalachian State had 417. First downs, 27-7. Appy State, they lost 27-7 first down.
That's insane.
Appy State was robbed. But yeah, in that first half, you got 4 Appy State field goals.
Yeah,
field goals are always good for the over. But Wyoming's touchdowns were a 9-yard run, and then they broke a 75-yard run. They only had 207 yards, and they broke a 75-yard run. And then they had a blocked field goal to win the game. How insane is that game?
And then that was a App then had a chance coming back down. I believe tie, and they got close. And then I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like going to lose. And then I think they threw a pick, if I remember, or something.
Yeah, they got down to the. It says here they got to they actually got a first down at the Wyoming 20 and got intercepted. They didn't even need to. And the funny thing is the ESPN app is shitty. So like if you scroll in the play-by-play, it shows the final score is 30-19, even though it was 22-19. But they had a chance to really stick it to you. But what a crazy game. Nice hit though. So another win.
And then of course the last one was a little bit more less stressful, the New England and the Jets game. I mean, we saw pretty much what I thought. I think I said that to you before. The weather's going to be coming in the second half, and it got pretty nasty there. But honestly, that team, the way those two teams are playing, it was going to stay under regardless.
Yeah. Zach Wilson, I get that he sucks or whatever, but just what do you got to lose? Don't these conservative game plan, just play. And you get some killed or whatever, just play. At least take a shot. You're going down, guns a-blazing at least. It's so funny because when they bring in I remember the other year they played Mike White at quarterback and he threw for 400 yards one game because they just said they don't give a fuck and they took a few shots. And I feel like they do the opposite when Wilson's in there to try and coddle him and whatever. But it's a solid week across both NFL and college.
So
myself,
good. And you had an interesting game yourself. I mean, two not so interesting. One win and one loss, but then the Ohio State.
So put myself up here now after your broom. Shithouse Sam, the old shithouse, 1-1-1. Remember that at bowling when you'd shoot a 111 and you'd get toilet paper? So Shithouse Sam, 1-1-1. So Oregon, I was tempted on here to make it a 2-unit play. I loved that. That was my favorite play of the week. They rolled like I expected. UConn, no excuse. They got their asses kicked. They got nothing there. That's a loss, deservedly. Ohio State, for a while, I thought the cover was, once they pulled away a little bit, got a 10-point lead in a low-scoring game. I'm like, okay, I'm good. They're going to lean on Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's going to break. And then we ended up getting lucky to get a push for a couple of reasons. So Ohio State gets the game-winning touchdown on the last play, which I actually watched while in Beaver Stadium. These guys I hate that sit in front of us somehow have like Wi-Fi. I don't know how. I can't even text. They have Wi-Fi, and they were streaming that game. So I watched the final play, and I didn't get to see whether I was like, oh, they scored. I was like, all right. I didn't know if they'd kick the extra point or not because was it?
Well, yeah. I didn't think at first there was any time left on the clock.
Right.
But then I'm like, somehow there's 1 second, and I'm like, woohoo. Then I'm like, no wait, they're up by 2. Why are they even going to risk it? They're just going to take a knee on it.
Because if you get it blocked, it'd be a tie game if they return it. But hey, thanks to Ryan Day.
Picked it, and I'm like, all right.
Thanks to Ryan Day for being an idiot. So I get a push. Which we'll take. So, 1-1-1, didn't really lose any money, which is always nice. And, we're always apt to throw out a big old broom. You have won this year. I've won this year. So, those happen for us. So, let's talk a little bit about anything you see shaping up weather-wise. And I'll throw up.
So, this week for college and NFL, it looks pretty calm. There's not really too much happening for most of the games. There's one college game that I had been looking at that looked like it got bet down very early, very quick. That's the Michigan and Nebraska game in Lincoln. It's just one of those situations where there's going to be wind, and it's not really. So I started looking at this Monday morning, and I just had a lot going on Sunday, and I didn't look at it before that. And it was like the total opened 46.5, and Monday it was at 41.5. And I think now it's at 39.5.
Well, let me take a look and see what that's at right now. I'll bring it up here on my cellular phone. Because at that game, it's interesting that was the game you were looking at, because I've also looked at that game for non-weather purposes. And so let's see here. I want to see what both lines opened up out of curiosity. So I got Michigan, Nebraska, line movements. All right. So according to this, they had it open 46.5, Michigan 17.5. And now it's 17.5 and 39.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So might as well get right to it for me then. Since you mentioned it, I'll throw up my picks here on the board. First pick, Nebraska. So
there we go.
I kind of like it, with the potential weather factor. And again, we always, I always lean a little bit towards the dog with the weather. Here, actually, all my plays. But let's talk Nebraska. Plus 17.5 on FanDuel, minus 115. I think this is one of those games where Nebraska's new coach, Matt Rule, early in the year, he lost a nail biter to Colorado. This game for Nebraska, I think is obviously Michigan should win this game. I'm not saying that this game is going to be a Nebraska outright victory, but I don't know. Does Michigan love this game? Are they going to be like, again, I always try to think like how much do they care about this game?
Yeah.
So, the other week, Rutgers, they ended up being, I believe it was a straight up push most of the way, 24. They won by, again, a game hard to get up for. They kind of have like these low, like it's Nebraska, it's Minnesota, it's Indiana, It's Michigan State. There's a lot of they really don't get tested till two of their last 3 games of the season. That's Penn State. Maryland's better, but I still think they'll beat them. Maryland has gone better, and then Ohio State. So I think we can kind of see Michigan kind of go through the motions a little bit, and that's what I'm banking on here. I'm banking on Nebraska again with a new coach to be fired up, a home game against the number 2 team in the country. I'm taking the 17.5 there.
And that should probably be just to confirm with everyone. It's going to be windy. It's going to be probably 15 to 25 mile per hour throughout the game, and they're basically calling for wind Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think in Lincoln. So it's a sure thing that there's going to be wind there, and that's I think what they saw initially. When the total came out, it was like, all right, there's going to be wind, and it just went down right away. Got bet down right away. So, but yeah, I like to play with the dog there. I think that's going to be a good pick. I think that's going to be a winner. I like that one.
So I got another one here for you on a big dog, and that's Stanford plus 27.5 on MGM. This is against Oregon, who I was on Oregon last week. I'm thinking this is a spot for Oregon to relax a little. That Colorado game, they were pumped, balls to the wall, all emotional, ready to fucking destroy Dion, and they did. Now they go to Stanford, who Stanford's not going to be talking shit the whole week, to get them fired up. And the people that just watched and saw Oregon dismantle Colorado, 27.5. Stanford's not as good as Colorado. I'll lay the 27.5 all day. As Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. All right. I'm taking Stanford in the 27.5. I think it's a spot where Oregon isn't going to be firing on all cylinders after an emotional game. So Stanford plus 27.5. My final pick is a Friday night special. All right. I won't be able to really watch this one because I cover high school football on Friday nights, but nonetheless, I think it's a wise play. Oregon State -3 at the MGM. And that's a lot of places 3.5. So grab that 3 at the MGM while you can. Geez Louise, live. Oh no, I'm sorry. I put MGM, although maybe it was 3 when I saw it. Hey, on the fly, I just checked it to make sure you're getting the right number. Currently only 3 at Caesars. So it's 3 at Caesars, 3.5 everywhere else. But here's the thing. So Oregon State did have a huge game last week. They traveled to, I believe it was at Washington State. They were actually favored by 3 against Washington State in a huge game, and they lost by 3. Now they come back home, and they have another huge game, Utah. And before the season, Utah would have been favored in this game by a few points. And now I think you're going to see again, I think the common person will take a look at it, be like, Utah's undefeated. Utah's top 10. Utah's a school we've been hearing about. Utah was in the Rose Bowl last year. And now Oregon State's giving them 3 or 3.5 points. I think it's a spot for Oregon State to bounce back after a tough defeat last week and be, I think, more motivated after that loss and come back with a W here. I'm not sure they're still Utah. I feel like their quarterback still isn't going to be playing. Cam Rising talks where he'd be back this past week, and then he wasn't. So it makes me think his injury is even worse than expected. So he's a big part of their attacking game plan. So yeah, give me Oregon State -3. That's my 3-pack for the week. So
all right, I like it.
Hope to bounce back from the shit hoss.
Yeah, let's do it.
Look at this record. I'm going to put up our record. Let's just put it up on the screen here. And I'm going to even get rid of the crawl that says to follow UnderMike 626 on Twitter /X. Add alerts so you can get the plays as they're released. Subscribe at YouTube, The UnderMike Show, and follow on Facebook, The UnderMike Show. So let's get rid of the ticker and let's just bask in this record. 8-2-1 plus 635 units. Only a couple weeks in. Like what is going on? And this is after a huge year last year. I think just record wise, we were 55 and 33 and overall over 20 units. I mean, we're on pace to. I mean, we could have another big year here.
So I like it. It's always good getting off to a hot start like this. Gives us the confidence. Not that we didn't have that already, but it's off to a great start, and looking forward to more fun this week. NFL wise, anything noteworthy that
It's
you're
not
looking
an
at?
NFL. I don't have a feel. I did want to mention last week. I'm pissed that I couldn't pull the trigger one way or the other. Really on the Iowa Penn State. I was at that game, the whiteout,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was miserable for a little while, and then it cleared up, and then I got in the stadium, and it was clear, and then it got miserable, and
It was
Iowa
tough.
was
It was a tough forecast there, and it wasn't
Iowa
anything
was
where I could.
terrible. That was one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen. Iowa might have had 60 yards and 4 first downs the entire game. So, and Penn State, they pretty much kept it pretty. I thought they were going to have to be less vanilla. They were more vanilla. Iowa basically gave them a bunch of short passes, and Penn State took them. And that was a game where I was there and I was thinking, and it was just tough because it seemed to be a moving. People were tracking it, and it was moving, and winds would really kick up sometimes. You get some gusts, but then other times they lay down. So it was tough to tell, but so I don't have a Penn State game. They're at Northwestern this week, so I will be able to watch a little bit more games. But I was able to watch a lot of games last week because the tailgate I was at had a sweet setup.
Nice.
Music. We had TV with every single game on, with the TV divided into quadrants, and they were running Wi-Fi off of Starlink, and it was it was awesome. So
Crazy.
It's
sounds like a good time.
Yep. So I really don't have anything else for this week. Do you?
No, nothing else here. Look forward to it again. I'll keep checking those forecasts.
All right. That sounds good.
All righty. See ya.
Later.